Hey guys, Paul Geddes here, Lowrance Pro with your Lowrance tips and tricks of the week. Today what we're going to do is we're going to actually do what a lot of people don't do. They don't get the full use out of structure scan. Y'all bear with me, I'm trying a new mic. Hopefully it works a whole lot better than the last one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip you around. What we're using today is we're using twin carbon 16s with a 3D. We're using a standard in-hole transducer, which is the PDR-TL, and then we're using actually an external HSTW SBL. I have two on the back, one for each unit, just in case we have a failure. I have a backup. But what we're going to do is we're going to scan the whole pocket. And we want to look for blowdowns, we want to look for bait, at what position of the stage, basically in the fall bite. What I'm looking for is I'm looking to see where the transition is taking place, is where these fish are actually moving into. If it's the first neck down within the cove or within the creek, if they're in the mouth of it, or if they're on the instead of the secondary points, they're on the third points all the way in, or maybe they're all the way in the backs yet. We don't know yet, but that's what we're going to do today, is we're going to be scanning. The other key feature that I want to show you today is actually going to be how to use the measuring tool, which is a very, very good little tool to use while you're scanning what's going on and everything else. So that way you can, if you see an object, a blowdown, and you know, you can basically measure it to see how long it is. Where it comes in handy for me right now, I'm in the middle of a missing boat search. So objects that's really deep, I've got a couple places marked that's about 115 foot deep. I'm actually having to touch those places. I'm looking for a 24 foot sea arc. So I'm having to measure stuff that's in 110 to 115 foot of water, and without that measuring tool it's virtually impossible to get a good measurement. So what we're going to do is I'm going to flip you around, and we're going to look and see if we can find some fish at what point in the fall transition with them moving back chasing bait into these pockets to see where they're at. So let's flip you around. We're going to put you in gear here. All right, so we're looking on the right unit. We're looking basically at your side scan, left and right. As you can see, we've got some fish over here on the right, which is right at the mouth of this creek. On the left, we've got my chart, 2D sonar, and down scan. So this right here, basically what you're looking at right there, you're looking at that point of the mouth of the creek that we're coming in. Hopefully we can run across something as far as laydowns or anything else. If we want to take a look at it, we can actually measure it. We can see what's going on. So right now I'm scanning 200 feet each way, and I'm still not really hitting the bank. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scan out just a little bit more. See how a little dark it is? I've got the contrast way down. So we're going to crank the contrast up just a hair, and we're going to start seeing some more pronounced stuff here. We're looking 250 foot each way. Looks like we've got a little cut on the left here that dipped in. So what I'm going to do, as it narrows up, I'm going to start zooming in a little bit. What I'm looking for is I'm looking for over in these points where these things neck down, is I'm looking to see if there's any white pieces of rice, because white pieces of rice indicates largemouth. You know, that's the easy way to interpret them. Is what we're looking at here is, okay, so here's a good example. All right, so you see this right here? It's on my right side. It's right in the water column. That's a brush pile. Let me zoom you in over here. All right, so you see right here on my down scan, that's the brush pile that we actually just went over to look at it. We're 15 foot deep. You can see the creek that we're actually, the shape of it and everything else. So we're getting ready to have another little dip over here on our side scan. So I've got it out of gear, sort of just coasting. But you actually see here, see this outside edge here where it's dark? That's actually my shoreline. These ridges right here, these actually is where the waves keep washing up onto the bank. So over here on this point, you can actually see it's more of a gradual fall off. You got more ripples there, which indicates it's more of a shallow point right there, whereas it sort of gradually comes up. Where on the opposite side right there, it's a real steep drop off. So that would be a good holding point pretty much for fish during the spring and these, you know, feeding times as they push these shad back up in the back of these creeks. So as I'm getting shallower, as you can see, you got some hot spots in here. So I'm gonna go back to my contrast. It's on auto. I'm gonna take it off of auto. And I'm gonna bump it down a little bit because I want to start seeing all of my stuff here, but I don't want it too hot to blind me. Now as it gets shallower, it's actually going to get hotter. So we've got some blowdowns over here on the right. But here's a good indication. Even though this brush pile that we went over earlier, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and show you how to use the measurement tool on it. That way, because we're getting ready to get into some really shallow water, I don't know if we're going to see anything else right off the bat to use. So what I'm going to do is we're going to do this. So what you want to do is you want to touch where you're actually going to be, and then you can hit menu and then go to measure. Now here's sort of the tricky part, is it says moving starting point. So what you want to do, the easy thing to do is touch there at the base and zoom in. So touch there at the base, and right there where it says moving starting point, once you get it on the base, you touch over here and go to move end point. You touch at the end of it. All right, so now down here in the measurement, it says 15.2. So that actual limb or the brush pile is 15.2 feet long. And right there at that, it was 16.9 feet deep. So that gives you that white line of where I touched and where it's actually measuring. Then when you're done, you just hit finish measuring. Clear cursor, and then you can zoom back out a little bit. Now we're at, let's see here, we're at 140 and we're getting ready to get into shallow, so I'm gonna flip it around and come back out. We've got one other little point of interest over here that I've seen that we may be able to get a little bit better shot on and a little bit better measurement. Now also remember, now with Lowrance, all of their units, they have the track back feature. So like we didn't mark that brush pile. So let's pull it up right here. Let's pull it back and let's say, well, let's mark that brush pile. Mark your waypoint, press your number right there, and we're gonna put BRUSH. Hit enter. We're gonna change it to, let's put an exclamation point over there. Hit save, clear cursor. All right, so now, as you can see over here on our chart, our brush popped up where we marked that waypoint. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna navigate back to that waypoint. And we'll show you what it actually looks like on the down scan and the actual. Probably gonna be getting a little wind on the mic, guys. This wind's picking up, I apologize. All right, so we're getting ready to come right back up on our brush pile here. All right, so this will give you a little bit better idea. So this is our brush right here on the right hand side again. This is our brush right here, and it's actually got fish on it. So this is our brush pretty much that we just went over. And looks like we're getting ready to, there's a big ball of bait right there beside it. So what that tells me, that's exactly what I'm looking for. So see right here where this brush is and where this neck down is, right at the pinch, that's where these fish are starting to stack in here, because that's where the bait is. So what we're looking for is, I'd mark these, and I'd start fishing these transition points right here. If I caught a fish, then I would actually move to the next pocket over, scan, see if I see the bait, and then when I would actually go in and start seeing if I could catch some of those fish. Then you can actually start patterning, pattern everything that you see. You can go back to these secondary points where they start necking down, and if they look similar, then that way you should be able to take a look and see, what we're looking at. You see, here's a good example here. You got fish right here, bait up above, another little object right here, just a little stick up of brush right there, and 21 foot of water. So they're moving toward the backs right now. That's where they're transitioning to. All right, guys, I hope that helps. The new webpage is up, tacticalsonar.com. I've got a couple visits coming up to Cabela's in Greenville, South Carolina on the 18th, and then on Black Friday I will be helping everybody there, talking to guys, doing seminars. Haven't got all the details set up for that yet, but it's coming very, very quickly. Tacticalsonar.com, Paul Getty's Fishing on Facebook, Paul Getty's, and on YouTube. Subscribe. I appreciate it, guys. Thanks a lot.